Hello everyone, and we are back on PTR, this time testing Council Heroic. There's no time to waste, so let's just get into it. This is a very controversial fight. Some people will love it, some people will hate it. I personally started hating it a little bit, but then I started loving it. It's really fun and a little bit troll, you'll see why in a second. So let's get on with the first mechanic, Agonizing Claws. This is a tank mechanic, frontal, that you need to aim away from the raid, and basically you need to taunt because it gives you a debuff, so you need to taunt it every time. This is like the big guy, and as a tank you always want to move the big guy into one of the other two bosses. Just keep in mind that you can't really move these other two bosses, so yeah, you want to cleave, but then it's a bit annoying movement, so just keep that in mind. But yeah, try to cleave them together as much as you can and to keep them on top of each other, but be careful with this frontal. Right after you get the blossoms. This is just these green swirlies that we'll talk more in a second, but for now just keep in mind that you can't really go into this, and as they spawn they're gonna give you a stack, and this stack is going to be there permanently throughout the fight, and this is going to damage you depending on how many of these flowers over here are on the fight. Up next we have the javelins. So the poison javelins is this circle, you will cleave people with this, so honestly either move out or ask people to dispel you immediately. This is the poison, by the way, and this is not that much problematic. It's just a matter of either get away and get dispelled, or just completely get dispelled right away, or honestly you could even let it run out, so it's up to you. And then you have this barreling charge that you need to deal with, and this is just something that the boss will do quite frequently, and you have to have two different soak teams. So team A is gonna come into this arrow and soak it, and then next time he does it, team B is gonna come and soak it. If you don't soak at the end of this charge, the boss will explode AoE rate damage, and that damage will always depend on how many people it soaked. The more people soak, the less damage it is, so you actually have to soak it. Obviously soaking deals damage, so make sure you're healthy going into this. And here we can see how some people will soak, and boom, there we go, rate damage, not that impactful because it is soaked. Next on is this blue arrow. This is the Peep casting polymorph bombs, and this will morph you into a duck. Yes, a duck. And this is the troll part of the fight. So once you are a duck, and you'll see here that these people will become ducks, your main task here is to actually clear these flowers, these blossoms. Just walk through them and you will clear them. Once you clear like 4 or 5, you can actually come out of duck early. This lasts like 12 seconds, you can let it run out, but you can also like come out earlier, so timing will be key on some other mechanics here, but you can actually come out. You also have a movement speed ability and whatever. So here we have the duck eating the flowers, and this circle that you have around you means that once you come out of duck, any person in this circle will be a duck as well. So you can actually grief a lot your raid by doing this. Take this into melee, for example, and that just is a major grief. So never do that. But if you need extra ducks to clear the room, then that's how you do it. Finally, you will have these winds that you just kind of have to fight. You can barely see it because this is very hard to see, but there's a tornado right there, and you can't touch these tornadoes, they deal big damage. That's it. And then finally, the only thing left to talk about is the special abilities. Each boss has an energy bar, and at 100 energy, they all do a special ability. So let's start with Urktos. The Blinding Rage one is just a cast that you need to interrupt. Unfortunately, you can't really interrupt it. The only way to interrupt it is because he's now vulnerable to duck magic. Yes, duck magic is a thing, and so you go with a duck, get all the melee away from the boss, by the way, so you don't grief them, but then you get out of duck and morph the boss into a duck. And you can see it right here. The boss is now a duck. So the next special ability is from Arwen. She will jump away and then starts putting a slow dot on everyone and also like damaging everyone. You can see it right here, this thing. When you see this, then she's doing her special ability. The only way to interrupt this is to aim the barreling charge at her. So you aim this, and Urktos will now stop her special ability, as you can see right here. And then finally the last special ability is from Peep, Song of the Dragon, and this will put like a damage, heal, absorb, whatever on you, and for you to get rid of this, you have to touch some flowers. Let's just say that if you don't get rid of this, then you will guaranteedly die, because not only this damage you, but it stuns you for a long ass time. So honestly, here's all there is to it. You come into a flower, you touch it, take like 2 ticks of damage, you move out. That's it. That's the special ability. Really easy. Now the hard part of this fight is obviously managing the flowers. So you sometimes will want to have extra ducks, and sometimes you don't want extra ducks. And sometimes you want the flowers, and sometimes you don't want the flowers. And honestly, sometimes you need to eat the flowers fast and then morph a player again so that they can eat flowers again and then interrupt the boss. So the hard part will always be the overlaps rather than the mechanics itself. But that's all there is to Council Heroic on Amirdrassil. Keep in mind this is PTR, so anything can change. But for now there's not much more to say. So I'll see you on the next one, and take care. Bye bye.